Inclusion is a philosophy that emphasizes the value and belonging of all the individuals, regardless of their abilities and disabilities. So, Shri Guru Gobind Singh College of Commerce, established in 1984, our institution is a beacon of silence, excellence in fields like commerce, economics, business studies, and computer science. At our college, we strive to shape socially responsible citizens who are ready to create a brighter future for all the humanity. So, a quick introduction to Jaagriti. Jaagriti, the enabling unit, started its journey on 9th March 2010. The prime objective of Jaagriti is to help the specially able students of our college and community as a whole, creating awareness and sensitizing people at large towards the social issue is an important motive being pursued by Jaagriti. So, Jaagriti is bringing back SAFAR with a bang this time. SAFAR is a series of interviews with specially abled people or people helping specially abled people. So, we are thrilled to announce Mr. Karthikeyan Ganesan, the visionary founder of Sristi Foundation, a remarkable individual who has dedicated his life to making a profound effect in the lives of children and adults with intellectual and development disabilities. Sristi Foundation was founded in 2013 by Mr. Karthikeyan Ganesan, a psychologist who spent 15 plus years working with children and adults with intellectual and development disabilities. Mr. Karthikeyan Ganeshan's journey is not just one of the personal success but also a story of uplifting countless lives through education, skill development, and community engagement. So, to delve deeper into this foundation, Foundation is a non-profit organization that runs several different projects like Sristi Special School, where young rural children with intellectual and developmental disabilities who are excluded from the mainstream education get an education tailored to their specific needs. So, moving towards the questions, we are really grateful to have you, sir. Firstly, it is a great initiative taken by you, sir, to train children and adults with intellectual disabilities to be more independent and enable them to generate their own income. Sir, can you please elaborate more about the Sristi Foundation mission and goals?
Yeah, thank you first of all, and then thanks so much for inviting me, and also so glad to connect with the Jaagriti initiative. And when I was the first time when I heard from Ashit, and it was so mind blowing, and how the student community come forward, and especially the inclusion is one of the very close topic close to my heart, and I'm so glad and fortunate to be here in your forum. And thanks to Ashit and the team and to everyone for invited me. So I'm Karthikeyan, founder and director of Sristi Foundation, and mainly we working for the children and youth with intellectual and developmental disability, including the children with autism, cerebral palsy, child with intellectual disability, and multiple disability. So our vision is to create an inclusive, self-sustaining, and eco-friendly community for the people with a disability where they can live, learn, work, generate income, and lead an independent and dignified life. But why I initiated this project? What made me to start this foundation? Then I have to go back to the almost 20 years back. I spent nearly 12 years in my life in an orphanage. It is located in Pondicherry. I joined as a volunteer to support those children. Then it became my life. In during my stay in the orphanage, I found the children. This orphanage is an inclusive orphanage for the children with a disability and also for the non-disabled children. During the time when I was doing the volunteering, I found the non-disabled children getting a chance to go to school, completing their graduation, and slowly they get a job and re-included in the mainstream. Children with a mental disability always stay back at the home, getting the food and shelter and do nothing. And that motivated me to study psychology. Is anything I can do for them. Then I have done my bachelor's and master's, and then I became the director of the same orphanage. And I initiated the various initiatives for to become children. But once they become an adult, the real challenge starts. Imagine they become very violent, aggressive. It's difficult to manage their behavior. And then the next option is to bring them to the hospital, and the people refer to the psychiatrist, and then the psychiatrist they recommended, prescribed the many medicines. Once they started to take those medicine, and they are all in a sedative state. Imagine their life having the food, having the medicine, and sleep. And this is not for just 1 or 2 days, but for their whole life. That made me to think this is not the right way, and I have to do something for them. And I also have a many question: is it the right way to just providing the food and shelter that's enough for any human being? Then I just asked myself, maybe I have asked the same question to you all. If I provide a home or a place where we can get all the things, whatever the requirements we want, we can provide inside, but you are not allowed to go outside of your home. And how many or people are interested to stay at your home, and how long you can stay. At one point everyone get frustrated, right? Everyone need freedom, everyone wants to go outside, everyone wants to face the challenges in the life. Similarly, imagine the children and the people with the disability also having the same intentions to go outside, but due to the institutional care they are not getting the much chances to go outside. And I thought it's happening only in the orphanage where I spent, but it's happening all over India in all institutional care. That made me to think I actually we need to find a solution, and how we can make them feel more productive, how they can be independent. Then I started to travel. Almost 3 years I was on the road. I was volunteering at various organizations with the intention is anywhere I could find best practices that helps the adult with intellectual disability to become independent and proactively included themselves in the mainstream society, and enjoy the whatever the facility for like any other persons enjoying in the society, not just getting the food and shelter. But unfortunately, not many initiatives. Some initiatives are parents and young adults who are having the some business model, and some places there are many special schools, therapeutic center. They are doing amazing job, but mostly all the special schools are facing the same challenges. What I was facing the challenges and the orphanage after 18 years. What similarly, the parents also having the biggest worry: who will take care of my child after me, and what will happen to their future. So that's all the fear I found with the professional, with the schools, with the parent, and what we are going to do. And our society also not ready. When I was trying to get the job for them, and there are always many excuses actually. Whether the big industries, they said we are working with the big missionaries and it is not safe for a person with mental disability working in our industry, or the electricity, high volt electricity, and we it is difficult for them to work in our environment. You can find so many excuses. That all made me to think, okay, what are the jobs is suitable for them, what jobs they can do well. And that way during my journey I found many learnings, and one of the learning is most of the almost 70 to 75% of the people with the disability, any kind of disability, they are living in the rural villages. But around 80% of the organization were working for the people with the disability are located in the urban cities and the big cities, and a huge gap already there. The majority of the population is already excluded from all this kind of services, and it's difficult for them to come and get all the services in the bigger cities due to the transportation, due to the severity in the disability, and due to the poverty. The parents could not bring them to the cities or urban areas to get all these services. That one thing I think we should definitely address. And second thing is what the jobs they can do well, because with the limited opportunities, with the limited resources, it's difficult for them to get job. Then I thought from their skill level, from their interest area, then I found farming may be one of the job that's suitable for them. For that, I really want to check whether it work or not. Then I came back to the orphanage and got a small piece of the land, and it belongs to the orphanage. It's a tiny land, and we cleaned up and we made a fence around it. First time, a group of around 15 young adults with intellectual disability, both boys and girls, joined along with me. My intention is to create a kitchen garden, and the idea behind it, whether it's really suitable jobs for them or not. With that, I'll also like you, some of the volunteer also who joined along with me, who supported me to start the kitchen garden. One day I brought some seeds because to grow some vegetable. One of the boy is also a person with intellectually disabled, and his name is Anbu. They said it's a seed. If you plant it, it can grow, and it's the first time for him. We never had any experience about the plantations or any farming background, and then it is difficult for him to envision that the seeds can grow. And then he was looking at me how it grows actually. Then I said, I showed such a big mango tree next to the garden. You can look at this, and this mango tree also grown up from this little seed. And he was seeing the such a gigantic mango tree and tiny seeds on my hand. He was started to laugh at me. How these tiny seeds can grow in such a big way. That was my first challenge. To train a person with mental disability in farming, and I said, water it regularly, and you see what happened. And we sincerely worked along with me. We planted a lot of seeds, and he was watering it every day. After few days, I was still remember the day I was working in my office. He was morning. I was running behind him, and he opened the kitchen garden, the seed he planted, and he was so happy. He thought something happened. Actually, some magical and miracle happened. And after this incident, he locked the gate, put the key in his pocket. He never allow anybody inside. This is my garden. I will take care of it. And I say the responsibility. It started from there, and for everyone actually. If you are seeing the result from your work, you naturally get motivated. And afterwards, you got up earlier in the morning and go along and make others to motivate to go to the garden, whether they have the work in the garden or not. They go and sit and watch and all the plants. And that transformation started within a few days actually. And then after a few months, they started to harvest their vegetables, some country vegetable like brinjal, some ladies finger, some tomatoes, all they planted, they harvested from their garden. And then they talking with the chef, actually, the kitchen mas, and then he said, "You cannot decide what to cook for us, and these are the vegetable we harvested, we planted, so we have rights to tell what to cook, actually." And I saw that confidence level is imagine that they drastically improved. I never had an experience to they see they talked in that way, and then I said, what happened in between actually really? So until then, they are always dependent on someone for their food, for the shelter, for the dress and everything. First time they are giving back, and imagine you always in a position of receiving something, you feel inferior. Anyone. We don't need to talk about the disability here. See, if you are in a position of actually, you don't feel proud yourself. But now you are in a position of giving back to the community, giving back to the people who supported you. They feel proud and they automatically get the more confident. Actually, that's a key learning for me. And second key learning from the incident. Until then, the people they consider and the people talk about them as a inmate, one of the beneficiary from the orphanage. And then you are in institutional care many years, and people not really recognize you. Of course, you are a part of the institution, but now everyone start to recognize you. There's whoever comes and the people start to talk about you, talk about your garden, and then our boys they proudly bring the donors or any visitors, bring them to the garden and show all the plants, all the vegetables, and the people start to recognize them. So that the role is most important. Until then, I don't get any role to play, but now I got a role of gardener. And similarly, any human being need that valid role to play in the community. That valid role only brings you recognition. That valid role in our life. Just forget about the any person. Even if your own parents, if you just after graduation, after all your studies, you just go back and say, "Okay, I'm not going to any job. I just want to stay back with you." What will happen to your dignity? your own parents in your own homes actually. So that imagine for anyone, but unfortunately these people they don't get any role to play in the community. So that's two key learning made me to start Sristi Foundation. And after long struggle in 2013, I registered a not-profit organization and purchased a 10 acre of land, and it created an inclusive community where the people with disability or volunteers or anyone can come. It was completely empty, dry land. There's a lack of water, soil also not really fertile. And that time I don't have much knowledge about the farming. I intentionally want to create a community where people has to work and learn some farming skill. That way what I did. But all the challenges helped me to learn actually. Starting from the how to improve the soil quality, how to it became a fertile, and then the water is a big challenge. It was almost 5 years we struggled to get the water, and then later, you know what? You can learn everything from the our ancestors, the people, the nana nani next to our community. They are the best expert actually. They know how to do the farming in your land. And but in the beginning I was spent so much of my time to with the expert and everyone. Then because everyone they come from the different background, they are come from the different areas, different region, but the people who are in the villages are they having the traditional knowledges. So we should not ignore those things. And that also I learned in later stage. Then afterwards, I just go and sit and then listen their knowledge and then get their guidance. That way, we have created the rainwater harvesting farm ponds and created the swell system. And why you are looking the water under the ground, and every year you get the water from the cloud. You should watch upwards, not the downward. So the every drop of the water is so important for you. That way, we created so many soil system, pond system, rainwater harvesting tank. Every drop in our land is collected and then we reused. And then that way, we started to work on our land. And we planted so many trees. We have two open wells, and that was completely dry during the summer season. But once all the trees started to grow, it's naturally the water table is increased, and we directly witnessed and how the trees are helping to increasing the water table of the any land. So once right now almost 3,000 trees are there. It was completely empty land. Now all the trees are growing, and in the beginning, it is hard for the trees to grow in such a clay soil, and some of the very particular trees are started to grow. One day, it's called the Singapore cherry, one of the small tiny cherry plant. It was like invasive plants; they just grow very randomly. I was little worried because it's like dominating everywhere. But some people said, let them grow because we need mulching. Actually, we can cut and drop, and it helps to increase the fertility. But also some of the unintended impact happen. Those cherries attracted the birds. And once the birds started to visit our land, the birds always brought a lot of seeds to us. And then if you plant it started to grow on our land. That way birds who started to visit, and slowly the land became fertile, and our members started to work on the land and started having the vegetable garden. We have a dairy farm, we have a chicken farm, and now we started the rabbit farm also. And we are trying to grow our food as much as possible, and everything we're practicing in an organic way. And we also want to live in a sustainable way, so we're using the solar energy, biogas, and that way we're trying to live without harming to our nature. And parallelly, our members, people from the diverse group, some who are abandoned, some who are having the good parents, who lost their parents. So it's a completely diverse group, and having a lot of challenges in their behavior. One was locked in the room for 3 years, one were abandoned. So imagine those kind of people, and having the intellectual disability. And those people, we are on the land, we started to grow our own food. It was mess. Honestly, no clue what I'm going to do, and then no space to stay on the land also. So we all together constructed the uh, some huts actually with the thatched bamboo huts, and we started to live there. And that way our lives slowly started on the land. Stage by stage, things are changed. The land get more fertile, and people start to recognize our work, and the behavior changes happening. And the people who are taking the medication for the behavior problem is slowly started to vanish. And this way, you'll become the biggest trouble for the but if you are busy with anything, if you find your own purpose for your life, and you'll become a more productive. That's anyone need actually. That way, people who started to live in the community, everyone has responsibility from morning 6 to evening 6, and they are feel also more productive. And the end of the day, they just planting the seed, harvesting the vegetable, going to the kitchen, cooking their food. Imagine and eating. They have the complete cycle from plantation until eating their food actually from what they have planted, and they feel so productive, and they feel healthy. And nature is miracle. It heals anyone. It heals actually the people who are with the frustration, depression, aggression. Everything's vanished in a certain time. And also the structured environment is important for them. You cannot just flexibly, okay, we change today and change next day. The structure is, it's a little difficult for them. But if you have a structured environment, okay, we get up in the morning 6 and we have your meditation, yoga, and go to your work, and we divide it to small group, each group having responsibility. That way, people get more motivated and then learn all the skills through experiential way. The curriculum which we have designed, everything is more practical way, and they very hardly sit in the classroom learn any academics actually. All the skills, including the social skill, communication skill, time management skills, whatever the skills required for any kind of jobs, all the skills they have learned through the farm. And end of the third year, we're trying to get the job in the outside. That's also very interesting experience. I thought, okay, in third year, all the people are get ready. They can work, they can follow the instruction. Definitely, they become the get the job. And with my personal request, personal influence, and then because it's difficult, if there is no evidence or there is no model that these people can also do job. So the first time I'm approaching in Pondicherry or the nearby cities, so is there any chances to get a job? Some of my friends, they offered, they given a job in the hotel and in the some farms, and they were in the some industries in the gardening places. In 15 days, everyone returned back. They said your people are not fit, and they need more training. They're not following our instruction. I shocked. Am I doing the right thing? What's happening actually? Before sending the final person, I called myself. I was working in the hotel. They said, please, I know you are facing some problem. Let him stay for some time. I will be there, and I want to see what's really happening. I want to, what is the problem happen. Then I went, and then I checked, for anyone. If you are just coming, you are visiting to some new places, new country, you need a time to adapt. That adaptation time is most important. Second thing, from the day one, I demanded the salary for them. They work, so you have to pay salary. If you are an employee, if you are paying the salary, then you have certain expectation from your staff. They have to fulfill the job. But these boys need time, new environment, new place, and then they are getting a multiple instruction, and they have multiple tasks to complete. It's all made them to be stuck. Then I found, okay, this is what's happening. So afterwards, we never ask anybody for a job. We have you trained people who need little more training. So can you please give internship? They work freely. You can give any kind of job. You don't need to pay anything. Then the same supervisor or the manager tone is completely changed. He said, "Oh, these are the boys came from Sristi for a training, and then he was telling to the other co-workers, help them to learn some skills. Don't force them." So these adaptation times help. A month, the same manager said, "Okay, your boys they're working very well. Can we recruit them?" So that way, that's all these years, the learning keep on. We're learning. We do a lot of trial and error. But one thing we always keep in our mind: Our people are very productive, they are skilled, they are able. The only thing we need to create an opportunity. Parallelly, we need to also, the mindset change is so important. The attitude change is the huge thing that only can happen if you bring our boys and girls or people with a disability into the mainstream society. Unless the people they do not have any experience, and when I was checking with some of people, they do not have any personal contact with any person with a disability in their life at all, actually. So you cannot also complain, or you can also tell the people you have to accept. How they accept? They never had any experience. So intention is coming. We are cannot going to be change the whole society, but we could prepare ourselves. This is a society with other people. So how we could prepare ourselves to be proactively included ourselves in the society for the what are the skills that's required. So that way, the whole curriculum we design, and we see at least every year 10 to 15 boys and girls getting the job. And we also, not everyone can possible to go for the open employment, and based on the disability, we also started a shelter employment. They are capable, they can work, but they need constant instruction from the people that may not fit for the open employment. That way, some we have a bad production unit, and we have the dairy farm. They are producing the ghee also. Now we starting the commercial chicken farm, all bank account. Everyone getting their incentive. They work fully, they get the salary also, and they're getting the open employment. And we have a third category of people. It's difficult for them to work, but they need a lot of care and support. And but the space is really important. The freedom is important. They they every morning they just not having the care and support, but also they have to include themselves in the society and do some activity. So that's kind of activity we are also doing. But so once I moved to the village, and then I found I'm living almost now my 11th year in the village, and now it's 10th year I'm completing now. And then also I found many children with a disability. There is no school, and it is not possible for them to go to the mainstream school. That made us to start one special school also now. Around 50 children who come every day getting the special education from our school. During the COVID, we started to work with the giving the relief materials to the families of children with a disability. And honestly, COVID was not really affected, but the lockdown affected a lot. The most of the parents are the daily wages, and sudden lockdown, it's difficult for the started to provide the food materials and the groceries and rations to those family. During the relief work, even we reached further more remotest villages, and then we found severe children with a severe and profound level disability. It's difficult for them to move away from their home, move away from the villages, and they need a lot of therapeutic support. They need a lot of medical care, and even the parents not aware what the government was supporting them. They get the maintenance grant. It's again, there is even some of the children they don't have a disability certificate. That made us to start one mobile therapy project where our professional visiting them and providing all the services at their doorstep. And we are almost reaching 88 villages. And then very recently, we are also getting a more number of children with autism, but their intervention is a little more specific interventions required other than the other disabilities. So we sent our staffs to get specialized in autistic, how to work along with autism children, how to train them. And now we started one early intervention center for specifically for children with autistic feature. And then we also getting the request for the women with a disability. But here we are doing one experiment how these women can live independently in the city itself. We rented an apartment where they are living. 8 girls are living with a minimum support. They cook, they can decide, they go to the shopping, they go to the movie, they go to the, it's all they are independent. Our intention is how they can also be live independently in the mainstream society itself. Of course, some ups and downs, but we see that there are huge improvement in their skills. Unless like in the institutional care, someone who prepare the food, here you have to prepare your own food and you can decide what to cook. Actually, that's also give a lot of confidence. They go to the market and buy the vegetables and they learn all the skills. And we right now we are all waiting for last 1 year we are running it. That gives a new idea, a new motivation. In an institutional care, you always have a 50, 60, or 100 children. You may not give independent attention or have a chance to learn the independent skill. But by dividing the group into like 5 to 8 people in an apartment and with a minimum support, the individual skills naturally is improving, and it's an opportunity for them also to learn. That way, we call it as a group home, and that we also recently started. That way, our all our initiative, all our work to empowering them to become independent in their life, to have a dignified life in the mainstream society. We have the volunteers the cook and then volunteer that way around 51 people who are working along with me, around 300 plus children and youth who are directly getting benefit from our initiative. But demand is keep on increasing. Almost every day we get the request, and the district where we are working is the most backward district on Viluppuram in Tamil Nadu, and very minimum limited number of organizations working in the disability. But the uh, number of children, people with the disability is a huge number actually. You have to nearly 40,000 people who are with various disability living in one district. And how much a government, how much a single organization, at least we could support for 300 people. Let's focus on what we are doing, and slowly we expanding our services as much as possible to reach more number of people. And we see the transformation that keep us motivated. And even building the team also was challenging in a small villages. We encourage the parents to study and become the special educator, and we send the rural youth to go for is sponsoring them to go for special education. Then it's more sustainable. We should not depend on professionals who come from the urban area, but we build the professionals from the village itself. So in every area the support's required. But luckily, we have such a committed people, and they are helping us. And we are also getting the volunteers globally, and from the students from various institute and the universities who are come for internship, and some who have come for a gap year. They just 1 year they stay along with our community. We get people from Germany, from the US, from many places all over India. They come and live in our community. We expect at least a minimum 1 month stay in our community. Maximum they can stay for until they want to go. Based depends on their interest and skills. They can support our organization. We have amazing volunteers, very dedicated staff team that all made us to work. And we see at least one person who get job, live independently in the mainstream society. We feel that is the biggest achievement, whatever it is, the other sustainable practices we are doing. But all the things leads disabled people should lead a dignified life in the mainstream society. That's what we are doing, and I'm so happy that I'm also getting a chance to share my journey with you and this platform. And if you have any further question, anything you want to learn more about Sristi Foundation, please let me know. Otherwise, I take this opportunity to invite you all and come and stay, and then you can witness what's happening at Sristi. Thank you.
Very well said, sir. As you mentioned about the volunteers, can you explain what role does the volunteers play in supporting the foundation's work, like and how the individuals get involved in the foundation?
Yeah. So you can come. You can if you have your farming skills. If we have wide space actually. People come with a certain qualification like a physiotherapist, psychologist, or medical professional. They will have directly they can work in the our people. Or someone say, no, I don't have any skills, but I have a time. I really want to work in your organization. Then we check their interest, and they can involve in the farming. They can involve in in the day-to-day operations of our organization. Someone having the so much knowledge in the digital space, social media post or any communication material they can also build. We have a volunteer in every space. Right now, we have here two French couples working in the plant nursery, and we got earlier with the people from the architectural background. They come and work during our construction of our school actually. So that way, any background, we expecting at least a minimum 1 month to work, but maximum they can stay as much as they can. They can send their voluntary form through our website, and we screen and we will have a virtual meet, and afterwards they can start their journey with us. We are not charging anything. We are expecting at least 6 to 8 hours we work in our organization at any space they are chosen, and we provide the food and shelter, and they can stay in our community. Yeah, it's all our thing is the youth also should involve. It's also a indirectly the people who started to work in our organization, they some of them they changed their profession. They became a special educator once they back to their home, and they started to work for the people with a disability. And that is the I feel it's more impactful for me at least. Yeah.
So, since you have came so far in this journey, I would like to ask that what main challenges and obstacles the foundation has encountered in its work so far, and how have you addressed the challenges?
Mhm. So in the beginning, I was alone. Imagine, had a dream, so build this community. There was not much resources I had, and just I'm alone. And then new place. I don't know anyone in the villages, and that way you have to prepare yourself for everything. That's one challenges I found. And then funding, of course, the funding source is also not easy to. You have an idea, but everyone's needs some proof. Now people can witness. Okay, now the changes happening. People getting job. People, the children getting therapy. Anyone who visit our organization, they directly witness what we are doing it. But in the beginning, everything it was in my mind, and you are approaching the people to initiate the project. That was the great challenges. But the people who already knew about me, they started to fund, and the small contributions, everything counted in the beginning. It helps to build the community. And second biggest challenge is the qualified professional, and still we are struggling for that since we're located in the remotest part of in our area. People mostly they're interested to work in the urban area, big cities, and with the lack of transport facility, and not many people are interested to come and stay in the villages. That's all the second challenges we are facing it, and then reaching the people who are in remotest villages. Some villages they don't have any proper road, no bus accessibility, but still the children who are in need, and if there is an emergency need, it's hard to reach them. We have our mobile therapy van. If they are sick, we are sending our van to admit in the hospital. So people living in remotest villages, these are the major challenges they are facing. Now, at least we have some road facility. We're requesting the government to provide the proper road facility for all the village. Wherever we go, we are not just restrict ourselves just only for the disability, but like if there is no road access, if there is no medical facility, we always approach the district collector and we explain about the current challenges they are facing. That way, we bring like a holistic development of the area where we work at the moment. That's are the two majorly we are facing challenges, but other challenges like the water scarcity and then the infertility of the soil, these are all, I think, from my at least my personal experience, the challenges are good. Whenever we face the challenges, there is always an opportunity to learn something new. It gives a new knowledge to you, and this new knowledge leads to reach the next level of your organization, next level of your personal life also. But if without any challenges, I think you get bored. If you have everything in your life, you will get definitely bored. I think that challenges always keep me awake and they keep me alive, and that way our organization also moved to the all these levels because of all that. But our vision is clear, and we just marching forward to reach our vision.
So, sir, as you mentioned earlier, you use the natural resources for your projects. Can you share some more eco-friendly projects and how you address the environmental concerns?
Honestly, it's a challenging part because
Definitely.
you cannot be a like an isolated community surrounded with all this pollution, and you cannot practice everything by your own. For example, all the food material we are buying from the outside, it's all packaged with the plastic cover. And even though you want to avoid the plastic, but everything is packed with the plastic cover. We are trying to avoid all those things. Small efforts we are taking. For example, we have a rainwater harvesting tank. Minimum filtration we are consuming it. We are not pumping water from the ground, and that effort. And then we are trying to use the solar power as much as possible, not using the on-grid power. Biogas is almost 50% of our gas consumption through the biogas. We use the cow dung and we're producing the gas out of it, and then the slurry, the final product, come from the biogas, helping us for the compost for our farm. Gray water management, be the water from the shower, water from the kitchen with the minimum filtration naturally, and it goes to the water collection tank. That we reuse it and pump it back for our trees. What else? And then that way, everywhere we are trying to uh, take steps, keep in our mind the new, even the construction, all the houses, all the school building, everything in a sustainable way. We use the natural material, recycled wood. The bricks which we have, it's all not the baked one actually, is the, we call it as a compressed glazed brick actually, and we use it just to 40% of the cement for the whole construction. So wherever there is a possibility, we always keep our eye on it. If anything we can install it or anything we want to construct it, we always keep in our mind whether it is the eco-friendly, whether any harm to the environment. So we always keep in our mind. So we are trying. Honestly, it is not easy job because it's everywhere. It's this every people going in one direction, and you are trying to move on to the next direction, the other opposite direction. Not easy job, but there are many steps we can take. So before we print, and then we always think whether we need to print, and we completely trying to move on everything to digital wise with the minimum printing possibility. But if it is for the children, if it is for the program, we don't mind, because there is always, if there is a purposeful but just there is an alternate. Instead of printing, you can also send the message through WhatsApp, so people can easily digitally they can. Then let's use those technology also. Yeah, that's how some of the steps we already have taken, and then any new project we always keep eye on whether it is environmentally friendly, or is any chances to work along with the nature, so that we always ask ourselves.
So, how does the Sristi Foundation collaborate with other organizations and government agencies or local
Yeah,
communities to achieve its objectives, basically?
definitely. I think one thing, you cannot do it alone, because need is huge, and what we are doing is such a tiny portion, very tiny portion than what the demand is. We are always finding the way to partnering with the people. We collaborating with the other organizations who are in the disability sector, both the nationwide, region-wide, local-wise. We are always finding. For example, one of the special school in Pondicherry, they are having the highly experienced therapeutic staff, and they have the all the prosthetics they are making in the school itself. So instead of I'm starting their own project and collaborating with them, sending our children, they do the assessment and they are giving the wheelchair and all the aids and appliances to our children. And that way, what we our strength, we are working with adults. After graduating from the school, we are sending the student to us. That way, we collaborate, support one another, and achieve our vision. With the government, I think at least in the Tamil Nadu, they are doing good job, but the need is huge. The population is the huge number. So the non-profit organization, any community members, everyone's support is required if you really want to support the disability sector. And there are some challenges always there, and you need to get addressed it. Instead of complaining the government or blaming anyone, we try to solve the problem together. I strongly believe with the collaboration is the only way we can achieve anything. By blaming the government, blaming the other organization, or seeing as a competition with other organizations, nothing going to achieve it actually. So we, as much as possible, we collaborate with the state government, central government, and also with we are part of the many policy committee also, and we are also networking with other NGOs. Also, we have a network of disability organization, and we are sharing the knowledge. What are the best practices happening in the different sectors? And those practices we are trying to use it in our school, and we are also organizing some conferences or the training program especially for the professionals working in the disability sector. I think that is the only way we can go forward.
Well, I completely agree, sir. Rather than blaming the agencies, government, or
Yeah,
communities, we should ourselves address the issues.
yes, exactly.
So, I'd like to ask that what role does innovative technology play in the development of Sristi village? Like, how do you balance the traditional and modernity in your approach?
Hmm. So be more into the traditional way. Then maybe because of our way of working, we are working more with the farm or the more traditional way. But we cannot also deny in the technology areas. For example, some of the communication devices that really helping for the autistic children to communicate. So we should also not deny those areas, even though we're more connected with the nature and try to as much as possible to keep away all the technologies. We do not have a television, we do not use any the technology, much technology devices in our organization. But if we see if the technology helping and enhancing someone's skill, so there is nothing wrong to use those technology. And then of course we are having all the laptop and all some basic tools which is important for our day-to-day operations. We are trying to balance it. But if you ask me, we are more into the more nature connected organization than technology connected organization. Yeah.
So, basically, in your view, what is the important lesson you have learned from your work with Sristi Foundation?
Nature is miracle and it heals. And everyone has to at least to once in their life they should witness this. Whether you are in a city or in an urban area, but I think it is always very important to be connect yourself with the nature. And everyone has potential, everyone has ability. Only thing we have to create an opportunity to enhance your skills, whether you are disabled or non-disabled. And it is not easy for anyone to enhance their skill, upskills by their own because of their um, lack of accessibility, lack of knowledge, lack of awareness, or poverty. There are many reasons suppressing them. So, as a volunteer, as a social worker, as anyone who are interested in the community development, and you have to just uplift them, and just they need a little guidance, little support, and to become their independent in their life. So, I believe everyone has a skill, only they need little more support and an opportunity. Yeah.
Okay, all right, sir. Could you share some of the key initiatives or projects that the foundation is currently involved in?
They're starting a cafe in Pondicherry. That the reason behind the cafe, um, our boys and girls are so connected with the food. Actually, they are so happy to. starting from eat or cooking. I feel they're enjoying that space in the kitchen. I thought why don't we start one cafe? That is like very uh, randomly or intuitively started when we were eating together in the kitchen. Why don't we start our own cafe? And then we got into the structure actually. And already we found there are cafes in India or in abroad run by the people with the Down syndrome or people with intellectual disability. We are learning from them right now and that area. And this is a great opportunity for our society or the people. They can come and witness their skills. Yes, it's possible. They can work. They can be independent. Because many people they don't getting this opportunity to interacting with them. But maybe our cafe may be the space not just only as a restaurant, but also like a place where they can gather and like a party or like publishing a books or storytelling, like a vibrant space and inclusive space and all kind of people with a diverse group of people run the cafe that we are working on it at the moment. So the 2024 our idea is to start the project in Pondicherry. Second thing is expanding our organic farming because currently until now we are not much generating income from our farm. Mostly we are using it for our community itself. But our intention is certain percentage of our running costs not just depend on funding, but we can also generate by our farm. So that's why we are expanding our farm and more focus on income generation project that helps for the sustainability of our organization. And that's are the two major things we keep in our mind. And the third thing is we are planning to start a fellowship uh, to address the scarcity of professionals in the disability sector. We see many volunteers who are interested to stay in our community and learn all the skill. So we planning to launch as a professional fellowship, like how the Teach for India or the Gandhi Fellowship. And the people who are interested in the disability sector, they can come and stay 2 years with our Sristi, and we have a structured curriculum. They are immersed themselves for 2 years in the disability field, and then starting from working in the classroom, start visiting the community, working in the government sector, understanding the policy, learning all the disability act, and also qualify themselves as the profession to work in the disability sector that we are planning to launch. And they can go back and start their own organization, and in their respective region more number of children with a disability can get benefits. That is the intention behind why we are starting the fellowship. These are the three things we currently working on it. I think soon we will launch everything.
Well, I must say, this is very inspiring. You just don't only create the opportunities for them, but also make them face the challenges that comes to day,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
So, I would like to ask, what impact has the foundation on local community and beyond?
So we can tell the story of a person who was completely rejected by family and the whole villagers because of his behavior problem. They always said he has a lot of behavior problem. They are fighting with everyone, and they up to what extreme it happened. At one point, his father got angry on him, and he tied in a rope, and he wants to burn him. Actually, that much of extreme violence happened, and that way we rescued him and brought to the Sristi. And he was with us for 3 years, and he's amazing talented person. Actually, he's such a humble person. What, everyone who are frustrated, depressed, or anger and violent, you can just check that there is a unmet need. There is some need is unmet, and you need to find that need. Once that need is fulfilled, and how I see as a blossoming actually, how the bud blossoming it. That way, if the need is, it can be one hug, it can be a love, it can be a food, it can be a little attention, it can be some acceptance, anything. Those unmet needs important. That way, his name is Kalepan. He wants someone to accept him. He has skill. Someone has to witness I have this skill. That happened in Sristi. And after 3 years, he got a job in one of the, it's called the Eaton Private Limited in Pondicherry. He is working as a gardener, and he getting the salary. He getting the more salary than the people in the villages. And he has the ATM card. He has a bank account. His salary is helping to feed their family. Now the whole family, not only the family, whole villages recognizing him, and they change their attitude towards the disability. So that I see that way the impact is not only creating on particular person, but also it leads to the family, and it goes beyond to the family to the community. Now the whole village is referring any disabled person who are finding all the way. They say, "Okay, go to Sristi, go to Sristi." So I feel we are not much worry about how many people will get benefit, but we always worry whether our services really help a one person at one point, one time, that we feel is a great impact.
So how do you feel about the same? Like everybody refers to you. So how does it feel?
That's what I said. It's a demand is a huge, and we don't know how far we could expand our services. That also made us to think about the fellowship model. Not only it should not depend on Sristi, but also many organizations should come, many professionals should come in the disability sector, so that at the wide range of organization people get support system. Yeah.
So apart from the three projects that you have mentioned, what are the other long-term plans that you have for Sristi Foundation in the upcoming years?
So before our idea was to replicate our model, the curriculum which we have designed. Right now, even Tata Institute of Social Science, so we assigned MOU with us, and we are doing a research and how the system model can be replicated, how this model as a transforming the life of people with intellectual disability, how the form-based curriculum helping them to learn all the life skills. That the research currently we are conducting. Our intention in a year of time, we want to publish the books, and it's absolutely possible. So the knowledge can share with among others actually. That's the one thing happening. And I strongly believe that I think the knowledge sharing is most important. There are many good practices that are happening, and that we can share it either through book, or we can invite the people to come and see and learn from us. And of course, we are more proactively visiting various other organizations, learn the best practices from others. So that networking collaboration, I say, it's a very important, and be proactively engaging ourselves in this, like organizing exposure visit, meeting the people, networking with the people. In the long term, idea is to build the more number of professionals to work in the disability sector. I feel the fellowship model may be the one of the best way to scale up our project or replicate our model. Unless it just replicating the whole system to the other states is a huge investment, and also the every region having their own unique way of working. So best thing is let the people come and learn and go back and start their own organization and adapt as per their need actually. So that way we are working at the moment.
All right. So can you share some feedback that you can consider as achievements for your life as you're doing such a great work in this field?
Can you what you asked actually? Can you repeat?
Yes, definitely. I asked, can you share some feedback that you can consider
Hello.
as achieve? Can you hear me, sir?
Yes, yes. Now I can hear you. I just said, can you repeat the question because it was not
Yes,
clear.
yes, definitely. I can repeat the question. I was asking, can you share some feedback that you can consider as achievement for your life as you are doing such a great work in this field?
Um, no, even I'm not clear about this question. Feedback to whom you are asking?
So basically, I'm asking, what do you feel are your achievements in this field?
Huh. Achievement. One thing is they created the model that performing also is the, one of the biggest tool to empowering people with intellectual disability. And I think the organization or the people who wants to work in the disability sector should move from their urban or the comfort zone to the people where they are really in need. Actually, that is most important, especially in the hills area or in the rural villages. You may not having the organization working in the disability sector. So my strong suggestion or the request for anyone, please go to the people where they are and check their skill, their ability, and then local environment. And based on the need, let's support them. Don't
Okay.
go with a solution that won't work at any point. So
So
we
the
learn
last
from
question
them.
so the very last question I would like to ask is, what piece of advice would you like to give to our viewers?
So my whole life, I have learned with the two things. One is my living experience in the orphanage. The lived experience is most important. That you can do it through volunteer. So I don't know how long anyone will live in this air on this earth, maybe 60 years, 70 years, and or 40, whatever it is. Spending 1 year volunteering service for others, it's an enriching experience for anyone in your life. That's the huge changes, huge transformation can happen if you spend a year of your time for others. That can happen by doing the volunteer service. And second thing is travel. Travel is the greatest thing where you can find amazing people and you witness human beings are human beings. Whether you speak any language, whether you have a different religion, you have a different kind of food, but human beings are human beings. You'll find such amazing people in your life. And afterwards you don't find big difference or the cultural difference or language differences or any religious differences. You just accept the people as they are. That only can happen by traveling and witnessing that amazing experience. These are the two things that transform my life, and I think I definitely encourage anyone, go for volunteering, go for traveling. That's two things definitely transform your life.
Well, I wholeheartedly agree with your statement, sir, that traveling is a lot better.
Yes.
So, all right, with this, we conclude the fourth episode of our podcast, SAFAR 3.0. Mr. Karthikeyan, we are very grateful to have you with us and thank you for your precious time. We
Thank you so much.
appreciate
Yeah.
we appreciate each one of you for being such an attentive and patient audience throughout the podcast. Thank you so much. Have a nice day.
Thank you so much. Thank you.